Some of you know me. I just say a few words. My name is Matt. I'm the founder of Somatic Consent and Somatic Eros. Some of you know me from the de-armoring training where I'm a guest facilitator, and some of you have been there. And you are here today on the Orgasmic Blueprint online immersion webinar. My name is Matthias, not Somatic Consent Academy. I will change that. And here to my left, I don't know where she's for you, is my beloved partner, Jessica. And would you like to introduce yourself or would you like me to say a few words?
Yeah, say a few words. That would be so interesting to see what you choose.
All right. Jessica, my beloved, Swedish citizen and my partner in crime. She is a hypnotherapist and has as well a center in Stockholm, the EES Center, the Energy Enhancement System. I have been in there a few times. It's amazing. You just feel like as if you're having done an intergalactical flight and feel jet lagged, but on the other side, you just feel absolutely amazing. And she is as well a coach. And maybe you want to say a few more words about yourself?
Oh, that was great. Yeah. So this center Matt is talking about is an energy enhancement system center, if you have heard about it. But it's a high technology meditation center where you can actually really get to the best vibration for the cells and to recharge your body and mind and soul. So that's really exciting. But I also do hypnotherapy work and coaching, and I'm also out in the business world talking a lot about like customer behavior and stress and anxiety and things like that. So it's a broad. It feels like I have three different jobs and running three different companies. But yeah, that's a little bit short about me.
And you're a mother, and
That's true. I'm a mother too, and I partly live here in Gustavsberg in Värmdö, outside of Stockholm, and I also have an apartment in Södermalm in Stockholm. So I live like sort of every second week life there. Yeah.
so what is the Orgasmic Blueprint? First of all, I want to say a little bit about myself. So I'm on this tantric path since nearly 30 years. So I started when I was 27. I'm 56. So this is quite 3 decades ago when I started with that. I have tried everything that you can imagine. I turned every stone around and I was really curious about everything that is out there. So I tried kind of, most teachers who are offering some sacred sexuality work and, massage techniques and meditation and all that. And I'm a geek of consent, the nervous system. I'm a body worker, I'm a facilitator. And what I'm mostly excited about is the transformation, the spiritual path of our sexuality in a healthy way. And I found something that I love to share passionately, and that's the dynamic that I call edging. Yeah. Hi, Greg. And this is a dynamic when, most people like being sexual and most people like having orgasms and being orgasmic. And what I found out, what is most transformative is this very moment when we just entering this point of no return, where we normally have a release, an orgasm, to learn to relax and being in that high state of arousal, what I call relaxed arousal, and diving into that place, what guides into an expansion and into a really strong focus of being present. And that's absolutely fantastic. This is, in my perception, the best spiritual path that it can imagine. Jessica and I, we are partners since 9 months, right? February
Right.
last
Yeah.
year. But we started playing around 5 years ago, and we have a certain path as lovers. And Jessica and I sharing this Orgasmic Blueprint as lovers. And Jessica is part of the Orgasmic Blueprint online immersion, and she was part of the Orgasmic Blueprint couples retreat, because I can tell you so much, and there's so much theory about that. And I think it's nothing more liberating to hear from a woman's perspective what that is, instead of listening to a guy's theory. Is there anything at this point you would like to say, Jessica?
Yeah, just that I'm so happy to be on this journey, both together with you and now with all of you guys. And I'm really here mostly like really open to have questions, whatever that could be, because it's, as Matt says, it's nice to just have another view and another way to see things. So don't be shy, just ask whatever, and I'm available.
Thank you so much. So some of you are on the WhatsApp group, some of you are not. And on one point, I will just post the link. Please copy it out, because in the WhatsApp group, I share from our couples retreat in Sweden from September the videos of all the sessions that we have done. And I'm just curious, who of you has seen at least one of them? Okay. And I hope they are kind of useful, and you're just going through. Tomorrow, I just share session number 9 or number 10. I think it's session number 10. I'm not sure at this point. So this is where I post stuff, because in this 1 hour that we do here, we can only do so much, and we are more here to answer your questions if you have them. And in the Orgasmic Blueprint recordings, there are as well, they're on the Facebook, no, on the WhatsApp group. There you see the kind of theory part and the teaching part of the nervous system and how to do it and what to look for and the entire structure. But what is much more interesting and important is in the couples retreat to guide individuals deeper in their personal process. So where are you individually? What's going on for you? And then we have as well questions and answers and practice. And then the couples in itself, they go into their room and practice, and then they have difficulties how to engage somehow. And then they come back, and then we have questions and answers. And then we have another theory piece around that, what you see in the recordings, because I don't want to share anything privately, what they share. But that's what the Orgasmic Blueprint literally is. So there's a lot of theory around how to find your blueprint into this orgasmic realm. But the retreat and the online immersion are mainly to pick you up where you are in your life, and kind of where do you struggle with, or you might don't struggle anywhere and you want to just amp up your capacity of being a lover, and you just want to go on a higher level of experience. And so we individualize that very much for your individual case, to see where you are. And we are very advanced in guiding people.
Yeah, and I can just add, can I add a few things there?
As much
Um,
as you like.
yeah, because it's like, I don't know if some of you I know made a lot of courses and done a lot of deep work in the sort of conscious sexuality realm. But one thing that I really appreciate Matt for is all this theory that you talk about. It's like it's so easy that we only go into experience, and you experience something in the moment, and then you want to experience it again and experience it again. So you sort of almost get addicted to these experiences. But with this theory, for me, and I know a lot of other people that you educated, it's like, oh, now I get it. Now I understand what this is all about. So then it becomes so much easier to do the work on your own, sort of, instead of just hunting experiences. And that I really want to acknowledge you for, with both the book and also the teaching that you do. It's theoretical, but it's really deep work. So yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, the most liberating, and for some people, the most repetitive and boring thing, if it hasn't landed, is what we do with the hand meditation. Who of you have heard about the hand meditation? Nearly everybody. And I guess most of you have done that. I would suggest we do that for about 5 minutes here together, just to have an unified experience. And I share my screen because I have I have different cameras. So I just want to show you. I have a side camera here, and this is my hand cam so that I can show you, and I have as well a picture in picture so that you can see my face. So the invitation is just to take something in your hands, also whatever it is. I have my beloved piece of wood here, can be anything. You lean back so that your shoulders is relaxed, your spine is relaxed. Some of you have done that already. And that's just to make it easier to find it and relax your spine. That's pretty much it. And that your shoulders and your body, your trunk is not set up for work. And when you have that object in your hand, I invite you just to stay there for a moment and just keep it in your hands for a few moments. We go for about 5 minutes or so, and feel free to keep your eyes closed or open as you like. Important here is that there is nothing to get, there's nowhere to go, it's just to experience. And the first thing that comes in is the mind labels that thing and what it's made of and what it's built for, and how to use it and the name of it and all this kind of information. And that's good because then we can rest the mind. And when you go a level deeper, you find some tactile information in that object. That might be the temperature. That might be, is it smooth or rough, round or sharp, or is it dense, is it heavy? So just let this information sink in as well. And the invitation here is to slow down your speed of movement by half, and then slow it down by half again, so that you go really slowly. And then I invite you into an exploration. So discover this object, feel it. And what we're looking for is this tinglish electromagnetic sensation. And you either move the object on your hand or your hand on the object, and just go on that little journey, maybe between your fingers or your palm, fingertips or nail bed. And just allow yourself to just feel and sense. When you find a spot somewhere where it's pleasant, maybe even pleasurable, and I invite you to just stay there and just feel. While you're there, feeling and sensing, I invite you to just recognize that you are in action by choice towards a felt sense of pleasure. What you do for yourself. You don't give anything. Nobody's doing anything to you or for you. Just being in action and feel and sense. And if your mind wanders or feelings coming up, it's all welcome. Just bring your attention straight back to this sensation there in your skin. So train that little muscle of your attention towards your own pleasure in your skin. And you might notice a change or a shift in your nervous system. And then slowly slow your movement down till you stop. Stay there for a moment. And just notice what you notice within yourself. Feel, sense, recognize. And then slowly bring your attention back to the screen in your own speed, in your own time. Open your eyes and orient yourself somewhere. So you have your own experience about the hand meditation, and just a few words why we are doing that. It's because we have more nerve ending in our hands than anywhere else outside on our entire body except our mouth and our genitals. And because there are so many nerve ending related to our hands, because there's a massive part in our brain dedicated to this very amazing creatures there at the end of our arms, that when the hands will get it, the rest of the body will get it. And when I say getting it, it is being in action towards your own pleasure. What is literally already the core component of the orgasmic blueprint. When this one is in place, everything else becomes easy. Okay, so as time is running like crazy, I would like to invite you to opening up your microphone if you choose, and may have a few words. How is your experience of this 5 minutes of the hands meditation? If you would like to share, if you want to. And everything is welcome, whatever you have experienced. Helen, is it already microphone open?
It is open, yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, yes, it was very pleasurable all over the hand on both sides. And I also noticed that my the breathing shifted from the right nostril to the left one. And that is like indicating a switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic, isn't that correct?
I'm not familiar with that when it changed from the left to the right, but I think so. I remember
I think
something.
so.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Jessica is
Nodding
nodding.
your head, Jessica.
Yeah, I've heard that too. It's like the calming side and the more, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you, Helen.
I
Yes, please, Valts.
I felt some kind of lowering of the threshold of sensitivity, so I felt like I'm more sensitive to everything, and maybe I captured some features on your face mat as well. It's changed a little bit. Faces changes after that sensitivity threshold is changed. It's like I found that when somebody is playing some kind of instrument, piano, for example, the face change another way. But I cannot describe it, but I can see it. So my level of sensitivity increased.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Maybe one or two more.
I felt it was very pleasurable, and it was like a tingling, like opening up, like almost outside my body. It felt like, and it was, and I also got in contact with. I felt really sensitive doing it, and I hardly moved my thing in my hand, and it was like just enough, just like it was really nice, and I can still feel it.
Yes. Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the core exercise. And if you have that in place, the webinar is over. Bye. Have a great life. So the interesting thing is people asking, yes, I really get it. I have it in my hand. It feels nice. And now what? So first of all, this is very beneficial because it's self-regulating your nervous system. Yeah, this as a meditation in itself is absolutely powerful because you release oxytocin when you do that. You feel a shift of state. You relax. Yeah, and what it does to your body and to your nervous system, you just enter the present moment. Can explain more why that is, but it is just a fact. And if you want to be in more proximity with your lover in the present moment when it comes to touch and pleasure, there's nothing better than that, except love. So, I would like to share one little slide that I have prepared that shows you where to put that exercise in, specifically when it comes to connection and engagement. And I share my screen for that. This thing is from the shamanic, so-called shamanic circle. Yeah. And some of you have heard that there is in this shamanic circle a male and a female structure in there, and that's what or a masculine or a feminine structure in there, and this is what I want to talk into. So it's not about any related to male or female or any kind of gender identification or anything else. It's just the idea of we have masculine aspects and we have feminine aspects, and that's for everybody the same. It doesn't matter what gender configuration you have or what your sexual identification is. Just want to share it from that perspective. So we have here on this side the so-called dark masculine. It's just like you go in an action for yourself. Yeah. Then we have the dark feminine structure is you allow somebody else to go in action for themselves. Then you have the light feminine is you do an action for somebody. And this one, the light masculine, is you receive a benefit from somebody else's action. Yeah, so this is the idea about this shamanic circle. When you're inside of this shamanic circle, you have literally a growth potential. Yeah. So when you practice a lot your dark masculine, so your action for yourself, you will come into a value of integrity. So because you know the difference between action for yourself or action for somebody else. You are in alignment and with your thoughts, words, and action, and you actually use your power or your gift of power not to overpower, so rather a power with. Or then you have the light masculine, you come into gratitude, the joy of gratitude to receive what other people do for you. You have the light feminine, generosity, because you give because you have and you provide because you can. And you come from a place of generosity and not from a place of pleasing or from a place of give to get or anything. And the dark feminine is the so-called surrender part, because you just surrender to somebody else's action within your capability of allowing that to happen. Yeah. So that means the closer you go into these values, the more you will kind of come to this center point here. And the center point, this is the point where you can rise into this orgasmic experience. Yeah. So that you don't have to kind of protect or hide yourself that something goes wrong. Anyway, if people go too far out into the dark masculine without taking other people in consideration, there can the so-called unhealthy dark masculine, so the shadow part, occur. The shadow part as well in the dark feminine or in the light feminine or in the unhealthy feminine. So now I want to show you something here. And that's, some of you have seen that, the somatic consent engagement system. Yeah. So what I've done is I have overlapped the somatic consent engagement system with this shamanic circle. So that when you have the dark masculine, you come from that place of permission to do something that you want to do for yourself with the person you're engaging with. And if you don't have this permission with the person you're engaging with, you most likely flip out into the unhealthy dark masculine, what the perpetrator, the abuse or the violation shadow is. And when you are in the dark feminine and you go too far out, you end up in the victim or enduring or traumatic experience. Yeah. And as well here in the unhealthy light masculine, in the expectation or exploitation or laziness, or here in the unhealthy light feminine, the burnout, the pleaser or give to get. So the idea about the orgasmic blueprint is being within the engagement structure and finding this internal place here of what I call in the bigger picture, and I'll show you the last piece, the so-called apex, so this interpersonal place. And the more you play within this structure here, so your action for you or their action for you or their action for them or your action for them, the more you play this dynamics, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a minute, the more you rise. So this is an transformative experience that you have. So the more you practice, the more you will come up into this middle place here. Yeah, so you end up, when you look from on top here, like this is the middle point of a pyramid. And up here on this point of the pyramid, this is the place of love and care, the interpersonal place where this relationship structure of the orgasmic blueprint actually is happening. So the orgasmic blueprint doesn't happen in this structure. It happens outside, in the not outside, on above, on this very center point. And to reach that center point, this is where the structure of what we have just done with the hands meditation is the most powerful. So it is this dark masculine structure going in action for yourself. Yeah, it's your action is for you, and learn how to create a field with your lover that you have this permission to do that what you want to do, and that your lover has permission to do what your lover want to do, so that you both can go in action and feel each other at the same time while you are going on this spiritual journey together. Yeah. So the structure inside this, the 4 different quadrants here, they are based on the 3-minute game. Yeah. And in the Orgasmic Blueprint Couples Retreat, I show that to people. So people start to playing the 3-minute game. That means you go with your partner for a while to a side, and then you do what you want. Then your partner does what your partner want. Then you do what your partner want, and then your partner does what you want. And when you play that a few times with your partner, you will go closer to the middle point and learn more about yourself and your partner that you can't learn in any other way. This is where the magic is happening. And this is the start of the Orgasmic Blueprint. So I stop sharing here, because this is where, there is this thing, you learn more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. Yeah, so I can show you just only so much with theory and why that is all necessary and needed and happening, but nothing will replace the practice. Jessica, would you like to add something at this point?
Yes, I would like that. Now, when I look at these and when I play with them and experience them, I talk to people, it's like my experience is that we often have one of these areas where we are most comfortable, that takes less energy from us to be there. It's like normal. It's just that I feel at home here, like I can be here, maybe both in the shadow and in the healthy part. But then often there's also one part in the system where we almost never is, and we might even avoid it like crazy. We are programmed to have a lot of judgment towards that area. So I invite people to feel like to reflect a little bit, like where am I most comfortable and where am I actually where am I avoiding a little bit? So it's really interesting to look at.
Yeah. So when I started practicing that, I was the master in pleasing. I was so good in pleasing, I could do everything to everybody to get an orgasmic response out of their body, that I could feel better about myself. And when I started to play the 3-minute game, that was one of the biggest challenge for me, to go in action and be in connection with myself. I have lost myself so many times in my partner that I had no idea how it felt when I'm in connection with myself. And I had very little experiences that my partner was in connection with themselves while feeling themselves on me. So in the practice of the 3-minute game, of course, you can play the 3-minute game with everybody, with your partner, with your colleagues, with your family members, with friends, with your lover. You can name it. Play the 3-minute game as much as you can. But there's one thing, and that happened to me as well, is shadows will come up. So the unhealthy aspect, or the stuff, because if you have lived your life and hang out on this, survival mechanisms or strategies, and you have nobody you can ask for what's going on, it's not the 3-minute game is wrong. The 3-minute game is awesome because it's an absolutely objective, neutral game to play. That's for all human beings the same, because we have all a nervous system and we have all a social engagement system. And we need all proximity and connection. And when, so to say, shit hits the fan, who do you ask? So this is what the shortcut is. Please, Val, if you have a question, this is the time to opening them up.
Yes,
And
I have a question about the 3-minute game. We play a lot with my wife to start to better conversation and better relations. So actually we are in long relationships, 29 years, and now it's kind of shift. So we like to start all over again in a different way, and we play a lot. And what I recognize that these shadows, it's sometimes difficult to understand: is it my shadow or it's her shadow? Because if you can't recognize it's my shadow, you may project to your partner, and this is for me sometimes very confusing.
Yes, this is, I agree. So the easiest answer to that, and I make it short and crisp. So lovemaking and orgasmic play doesn't happen within the 3-minute game. The 3-minute game is a practice to learn something about yourself and your partner. It does not replace lovemaking. But when you in the 3-minute game and when shadows come up, shadows come in a pair. So when your partner is in a shadow or you are in a shadow, you can be most likely assured that you or your partner is in the opposite shadow. Yeah. So that means if you tend to please, your partner is probably on the other side in the exploitation dynamic, just like enjoying what you're doing and expecting you to do the right stuff, or vice versa. Yeah. And the same is with the dark masculine, the unhealthy dark masculine, or the shadow of this side, that if there's an abusive dynamic going on, there's most of the time a victim dynamic going on the other side. And it's not how people feel about the shadows, is when you put yourself in a shadow, in the moment you put yourself in a shadow, you put your partner in the opposite shadow, or your partner puts themselves in a shadow that puts you into the opposite shadow. So the most important piece is in the interpersonal place, you know, the apex where lovemaking is happening, the shadows and the transformation, they exist simultaneously. And when a shadow pops up, it's a great opportunity to stop, to debrief, to check in, and having a conversation and see where in the game have you left an agreement. And that's my go-to.
So you mean the agreement before you start playing?
The agreement that before you start playing. And the idea when you start playing is you play small. You start with 3 minutes. You avoid the bedroom. So you do it somewhere on the carpet in the living room. You avoid in the beginning maybe sexual parts and sexual areas. Yeah. And you do small stuff. So for example, when you play in the section, you want your partner to do something for you, you ask for small stuff. Can you please bring me a glass of water? Can you hold my hand? Can you tell me that I'm beautiful? You know, it's just like you just do small stuff, and then you gradually expand that into more complex situations. I have developed the so-called the 4 pillars of relating, where, for example, when it comes to the permission phase, yeah, where I ask Jessica for a holistic permission, and I have asked her that once. I have asked Jessica, I have this holistic question to you. Do I have permission? Am I allowed to touch you with any body part on my body, on any body part on your body, whenever I want, however I want, and wherever I want? And you take care of your limits.
Yes.
Yes. So I asked that once. So I don't have to ask every time again, Jessica, can I kiss you now?
Yeah. And with this, it's like that could look like he could do anything in public or whatever. And of course, you need to have a little bit more of an agreement there. But then I have actually said that I take responsibility for my boundaries, and I will let him know if I don't want you to do this here or wherever. Yeah.
Yes. So Jessica has the same permission. So I allowed her to touch any body part of her body at any time, any body part of my body, whenever, however she likes. And I take care of my limits. And of course, when we are in public, there are some ethics around. That, takes the responsibility out of the dynamic that you have to ask every 5 seconds if you're allowed to do such and such. And if you're not really sure, you still can ask at any time. But that's just only when you play with somebody. In a lover's relationship, I don't want to ask every 5 seconds. If I'm going into lovemaking, into the interpersonal space, into the center place there, I just want to float. I want to merge. I want to dive. I want to go an upward spiral into this orgasmic state. And in an orgasmic state, being there and just like, am I allowed to be a little bit stronger in my expression? Is a killer. It doesn't work. So we have to be in our power and giving our gift of power for the other person to surrender or transform, or whatever you want to say, that you come together in that place.
And here is exactly what you said before, well, that it was like, it's so easy to project your shadow on the other. If I am not taking care of my limits, and then I feel like he did something towards me, and then I project him to be that person instead of like, oh, I actually lost my boundaries here, or I did not take responsibility of my limitations. So, and then it's very easy to project that to the opposite shadow, as Matt was saying.
Mm.
And I also want to acknowledge what Claire said here, like in the chat. It was so beautiful. It's so easy. Like, I think we all know so much about ending up in pleasing and losing ourselves in the other. And it can come in so many different areas. I mean, I worked with a client that she had no idea what she wanted in any area of her life when she was not in a partnership. So when she became single, she did not even know what to buy in the grocery shop because she didn't know what she liked to eat. She had sort of no, like, I don't know, she always bought what her partner wanted and cooked what he liked. And so it ended up with her like Googling like a diet so that she can have a piece of paper that will tell her what she should eat, like, or where she should go shopping. And this is so interesting to see that, like, how we don't even know what we want, so we cannot ask for it. So it's really a practice.
Mm. And to add to that is, the permission part, that you do what you want and your partner do what your partner wants simultaneously. That doesn't happen in the 3-minute game. Yeah, in the 3-minute game, it's either you're in action or your partner is in action. But in lovemaking, it's just like, you're not a dead fish. In lovemaking, you just want to flow. You just want to just like merge and just having different engagement, and you change states and you change, dynamics, and all this is important feature that needs to be in place. But in the 3-minute game, when it comes to your action for the other one, yeah, and that's as well for your what you just said, Claire Joy, and you and I have played that in that session, that the first step in empowerment is that you let the client or the other person choose what you want. And if there is no request, there's no action. And what happens is when people see, okay, so it's only happening something if I'm asking for something, but I don't want anything. And this is a very important feature that people need to own up, to say, I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be touched at all. Yeah. And what comes up for most clients when I'm working with clients, or even when you do that with your partner, is that everybody has a certain way of how they want to be touched. Everybody has a certain way how they want to be touched from another person. And that might be just, can you just hold my hand or put your hand on my foot for 5 seconds or 10 seconds? That's it. And then the nervous system, something is happening, is recalibrating. It's just like, oh, it's exactly happening what I'm asking for. Now translate that to the genitals. The first time I had a genital massage, a really genital massage, was when I was 45. Yeah, I was in a workshop receiving a smoking hot genital massage, and I was thinking, yeah, okay. I mean, I gotten smoking hot genitals massages, so what else can I learn? And in that massage, I have received exactly how I wanted to be touched on my genitals, and in no other way. I told that person who was massaging me to massage my penis exactly how I wanted that. And she was checking in all the time. This is how you want that? Yes, this is how I want that. And now I want this, and slow down and do more this and do more that. Now, when people don't know what they want, they probably don't believe that it's for them when they're getting touched. Yeah. Small steps, just a little bit. And there's so much joy possible in that. It's just absolutely beautiful. In the couples retreat, we played the master and servant game. And the master and servant game is there was so much fun. If you have seen the videos, I posted them on the WhatsApp group. I did that demo with Jessica, and I said, Jessica, can you please go into the kitchen, bring me a glass of water? Okay, now give it into my hand. Okay, now go behind me and massage my back. No, not that way, that way. So we did that master and servant demo, and then we turned it around, and then Jessica did the master and servant demo with me. And then we sent the couples into their room and having an hour of master and servant play. Yeah, half an hour, you are the servant of your partner, and then half an hour, you are the servant of your partner. And you learn about yourself more than you can ever find out when you have a conversation. I promise you that. When you play that a whole day with your partner or half a day, stuff will come up. I promise you that. So we have another, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or so. Are there other questions, Volts, please?
Can you hear me with my... Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question. Is there a difference between man and woman in this 3-minute game? How we take it? For example, I have a kind of idea that a man could hold space for women's emotions. So I could accept emotions without commenting, just accept it. But when it comes, when I feel I came into a shadow part of me, then I can't hold anymore. So what about this?
It's a great question, and I'd probably have to make a bigger circle to just talk about that. For behavior for men and women are mostly conditioned into our system through society, through school, religion, family, whatever. So we have all the same nervous system. The only difference in our nervous system between men and women, in specific men and women, is women, and I call them who have a womb. Yeah. The womb connection in women is connected through a specific nerve complex, the vagus nerve, and the social engagement system, how women perceive safety in their environment. That means if a woman doesn't feel safe, the cervix and the genitals are not included. Yeah, it's a shut off. So this is a difference. So women need more safety and connection when it comes to proximity and sexuality. We don't have that. We don't have our vagus nerve connected to our genitals. So that means our sexual encounter and our sexual engagement is a sympathetic engagement. That means sympathetic engagement is what most people know as fight and flight response. So if a woman doesn't feel safe because a man is in his sexual, not predatorial experience, but in his way of being activated, and that triggers a fight-flight response in a woman, so the sympathetic response, there's nothing going on. What can be a shadow for one person is for the other person freedom and liberation. And this is what I'm saying. The shadows and the love and care place happens at the same time simultaneously. And that's why it needs this checking in and conversation dynamics to clear up, just like, where are we? What's going on here? But in the bigger picture, it's not the male's job to be a provider of present. Women have the same capacity of being present, even more, I would say. And there's anything that anybody would like to add, or you add, Jessica, because I don't want to generalize what I sometimes do. Anything to add? And I saw your hand, David. You asked.
Yes, it was not related to this. It was another question. I was thinking about this. May I do the question?
Oh, yeah, please.
I come from a pleasure, someone that give pleasure. My tendency is this one. And in my relation with a partner, that's what is not funny. I have pleasure through the pleasure of her. And this is kind of pleasure, the dynamic. I see my partner having pleasure, I feel it, and this gives me pleasure. So this is the indirect way. Now I'm learning since 1 year to training the direct way, but at the same time, it is pleasurable to feel her pleasure. And it's really funny because with my partner, she's the contrary. So she's all in the direct and don't use the indirect way. So she don't give me nothing. I really need to be very sensitive to understand she have pleasure, if she have an orgasm, if she have pleasure. So nothing is coming back to me. So the question is, it's also important the indirect way when you do love, not just the direct way. I can take a 70% of the direct way, but I need also the 30% from the indirect way. So I wanted to speak of this because usually we need to train the direct way.
Yes, I love that. I always trying to be careful that I don't go into too many description of words that other people don't know. So I guess not everybody knows the difference between direct and indirect. And this is a really important piece, what we literally share as well in the Orgasmic Blueprint immersion. And this is what we have done in the couples retreat. So that everybody has a really embodied understanding. So the direct way for everybody to understand is what you have done with the object, because the direct way is when you feel the object, nothing is coming back. It's just you and your experience. One nerve ending is just like gives you an impulse in your brain, and another impulse is move. You're in action, moving. This is the direct way. The indirect way is if I would touch this thing and this thing would tell me, oh my God, Matt, how you touching me is awesome. Yeah, please continue. This is so cool. I love the way how you touch me. Yes, continue. Don't stop. Do more. And I feel good about myself, how this thing is feeling. So what David was just explaining, when he is touching his girlfriend and his girlfriend makes noises that she enjoys what he is doing, that's indirect pleasure. Yeah. And most people are stuck and dependent and addicted to the response in other people because they can't feel themselves. In this entire line of work, I will show you how to combine them two the direct and indirect route, that you're not stuck in the direct route, because if you only feel yourself and can't feel your partner, you just become a selfish prick. If you can't feel yourself and only tune into your partner, what your partner is responding, you probably become dependent on your partner's responses. Yeah. So the balance between them are good, and the balance depends on the individual. That said, because, you know, the theory is great, but the practice is that each and one of us has a different way of relating and engaging, and we have all a different conditioning, and we have all difficulties in one areas and more ease in other areas. And this is exactly how to balance them, is finding, you know, access to your capacity between direct and indirect in all 4 different dynamics. Your action for yourself, your partner's action for themselves, your action for your partner's action for you. But then in lovemaking, how to combine them and literally, yeah, float, dive.
Yeah.
Jessica,
Can
would you
I,
like to add something? Please go for it.
did you ask David, or could I add something?
No,
Sorry.
no, you please go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like add the experience. Like for me, for example, it's like really, I don't get turned on at all about pleasing. So as soon as I see that someone is like leaving themselves to find out what I want, then it's like, okay, where are you? Sort of, are you present with you? So, but as soon as someone is present, and they might go into giving, but they are with themselves in that, as you described, that you're balancing this direct and indirect route. Like for Matt, for example, he can totally go into giving me like a massage, but I can feel that he enjoys my horniness, for example. It's
Very
like
much.
he sort of almost uses me to get horny, like he does it to me so he can feel that. And then he's in his power. So instead of like, oh, I wonder if she wants this, or like he's losing himself to please me, then I will like, that's not a turn on for me.
And you
But
feel everything.
but if he is in that power, he can totally give and want me to react on that, and sort of now I see drink that sort of, and he still is present in his power. So I can't explain it. I just speak from experience, but you can probably put name on this, Matt, in a better way. But you
Yes,
can
but
definitely
that
feel
was
the difference.
perfectly described.
Mhm.
So I would like to do the typical thing that I hate to do because I'm so bad in it, and that's the sales pitch. That's marketing. Please forgive me. I do that as good as I can. If you're getting bored, please have a smile and think, oh my God, Matt, you need to learn something. But I do it as good as I can. So, what I wanted to say is, because you have made all that effort to come here today, and I shared that already in the WhatsApp group, that everybody who is here has the opportunity to come to the Orgasmic Blueprint online immersion, and has access to the so-called exclusive plan, to the tier. So that means you can come, or you pay for one, you come with 2. So your partner will get the entire thing. And I would like to share this page here. First of all, before I do that.
And that can be a friend too. It could be anybody, of course.
Can be a play buddy, can be anybody you would like to do that with. So first of all, I just dropped the link to the webpage for the case we have not seen that. And then I share the screen. Then you will land on this page. And on this page, there's a little video from Jessica and me. So you get everything what is happening. You get a link to the WhatsApp group where all other stuff is on. Then you see 3 different tiers. Yeah. And you see as well the time and when we do it, and where and how and what is included. There are some more videos and some more explanation. Please fill your cup up as much as you like. And then the last tier is the exclusive tier, means instead of every individual has to pay one tier, so you get the whole package for two of you for the price of one. Yeah, so that you just know. There is as well an early bird till the 18th of December. That's 30%. I can share that again in the WhatsApp group because I have not prepared that, but this is the better deal. You know, why would you take the early bird price if you can get this one for two for the price of this one here? So that's the invitation. We have just a small group because we want to make sure that we individualize these processes. And what comes as well, if you choose that one, each and one of you as an individual or couple, you will get 2 1-hour sessions with me to dive individually deeper in your own process. So, are there any questions or anything you would like to add, Jessica? Was I bad enough for my marketing?
I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we start on the 18th of January and we go for 3 hours, 4 Saturdays in a row. So 3 hours on the Saturday, like 4 Saturdays in a row. And that's the live. And of course, you will have the recording, but that's where we can really dive deep and do this.
Yeah, David, please.
What I was checking the standard because I wanted to participate to the 4 appointment, but seems that the 18 and 25 January will be with a friend of us, Deanne, in a retreat. So what I do the next one.
You know, people have always something going on, and everybody's choice is to make a decision. And if you can't join this time, there's probably another one or not. I don't know. But this is what I can provide. So everybody has to make their own judgment call and
Or
choice.
or if it could work to do it from there, but I guess you have a heavy schedule there, I guess, but it's like.
No, I wanted to participate, and so that is the same week from 18 to 25 I have a retreat. So to lose two appointment on 4.
Yeah, I hear you, and it's always a choice, you know, just like if you really want to join and you want to make this 3 hours on this 2 Saturdays available, then it's a choice. And if this is not worth, then you don't.
No, I will think. No, I was really wanted, and the same time.
Yeah. Michaela, please.
Yes. Is it when we're online for these 3 hours or 4 hours? Is it that we are only online, or is it like you go away with your partner for a while, or
both? We will be online, and then you either go away for a short practice. But mainly between the Saturdays, we give your assignments as a choice to practice deeper, and you will have experience during that week. We will have as well our own group where we chat with each other, and stuff will come up that we can actually communicate on a WhatsApp group or an individual group, so that you have the opportunity during that week, if stuff comes up, to process that and check it in. But then the next week, you have the opportunity to bring that in, and then we work individually through this process.
And to clarify, you don't need to have a partner. It's not that you need to have someone to work with during the sessions, or like in between. You can find something or so, but it's totally okay to just come and to take part. If we do things, we can divide people in Zoom groups and so on.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's also okay if you're with the partner and the partner is away, if you're not physically together during the sessions. That could also be okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you know, the interesting thing is, of course, if you have an experience that you would like to discover with your partner, then you have to either introduce your partner, or in this case, with this exclusive tier, you will have access to all the recordings as well, so that your partner can watch the recordings. But this will just only be, the recordings will only be accessible for people who participate in the exclusive tier.
I don't understand the word tier.
A tier is like an option. So there's option 1, option 2, option 3.
Okay.
So there is, let me show you that again.
Yeah, I remember the boxes.
Yeah, so
Like,
3 boxes.
different, but I just don't tier. I don't.
They call tier, it's an English word for
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Layer, I think. Levels, layer.
Levels, okay. But Martin, you're British, right?
It's his fault.
Am I saying that right with tiers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it, Claire?
Okay.
Oh,
I never
tier.
heard it.
Yeah, it's a way of separating different levels or values based on what you pay and what you receive for what you pay.
Oh, okay.
More an American word, right?
Yeah. I had
No, I think it's totally English word. It's just not a
Totally
very
English,
common
okay.
one.
Okay.
We use it a lot.
Okay, thank you, Martin.
I had a question. So I'm really interested in this work. I'm curious because I just signed up for the Somatic Academy, and I'm curious what I just signed up for versus what this is. And I'm just curious.
Great question. Appreciate that. So this last tier, the exclusive tier, this option that comes with a lifetime academy. Yeah. So lifetime academy means I have a platform on Mighty Network. It's a closed group away from, any kind of advertising and Facebook noise and social media, where I offer every Monday a 90-minute call, like we do that here. So where you can come and ask your questions afterwards. The academy includes as well I showed that so many times in the retreat. It's the same book. So you have access to the book, what is an online version of the book where the entire Orgasmic Blueprint is kind of written down in 400 pages. So there's a lot of reading stuff. Anyway, all the details theoretically are in there, so you just have access to that one. There are 3 online courses. So the individual course, the relationship course, and the professional course, what is still under construction. And we do once a month a consent lab. The last one hasn't happened because I need at least 7 or 8 people, and I can only do it if that many people show up. And we do every Wednesday at 7 o'clock a hand meditation just to keep you in the flow of that dynamic. It's a nice little network. You can individually connect with individuals, and everything that I offer is part of the academy. This Orgasmic Blueprint is not held in the academy. So it's not like people just can join from the academy, even though I have an extra offer similar like here. So 1 for 2, but in this case, offer future events. This is the plan. In this case, I have not offered that in the academy, but the academy has literally the calls that you can, every Monday, 90 minutes, come and ask your question if it's in relationship terms, in professional terms with your body work, or with as a coach, or, wherever you struggle, and how to use this material in your life.
So the question were what is the course really, like this online immersion in January? What will difference that from the academy then? Okay.
It's because Jessica is not teaching in the academy, and getting it firsthand from a woman who is deeply involved into that work on the relationship and lover level, to ask, what does it do for you?
Yeah, and I will also add that it's like it's going deeper in a process. These four, like we the month like sorry, I lost myself. The calls on Mondays, it could be all people all over. It could be a little bit of a mix. This will be a set journey, and we all do it together, and we support each other, and we talk about our experience with it over time as well. So that will, I think, be one of the biggest differences with this thing. And I want to recommend, like, if you have any other people that you would like to recommend this for, please recommend them, because we really want to have like a nice group going together on this journey. So if you have other people that you want to recommend, then just like tip them about this course as well, because it's full of useful stuff to really go into the orgasmic blueprint journey.
Yes.
When does registration end?
Registration ends on the day when we start. But this offer here today is valid till the early bird ends on 18th of December. So you have a whole week to make that. No, it's not true. It's actually 5 days. So 5 days to make that decision to take that. And then when the early bird ends on the 18th of December, then we have the regular price, and then still registration is open.
And when does it end with the 2 for 1?
On the 18th of December.
Oh, it's the same.
Yes.
It's the early bird.
Yes, ends with the early bird. So thank you everyone for, welcome back, Martin. Thank you everyone for joining here today. I would love to see you in the Orgasmic Blueprint if you choose. If you have any question, please feel free to go to the webpage, go on WhatsApp, ask questions there, or send me a message somehow via email or on WhatsApp. I'm happy to answer them, and have a beautiful evening. Any last word you would like to say, Jessica?
No, just thank you for all your presence, and hope to see you in the course as well, or anybody anywhere else. So.
All right. So my motto is love yourself, play the 3-minute game, and touch objects on a daily basis. Feel yourself. It changed your life.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.